Heart of Nigeria. Info. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
A clean surrounding is a collective effort.
Diseases could be avoided
with good hygiene practice. Be more responsible with how you dispose waste products. The environment will be better looking without litter and exposed garbage. We love our city clean. This message is from 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Our freedom depends on our proactive responsibilities.
Let's talk, act, and be about development.
With one voice, our potential is realized. This is your number one news, talk, and sports radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am listening.
We give the facts.
News entirely.
We give the evidence. Just to keep you informed.
News, weather.
I get my information top of the hour every hour.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
And now, hard facts.
Hard facts with Dion.
Hello, good afternoon to you and welcome to Hard Facts at 90.3 Nigeria Info, Herring Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 15 past 3 p.m. It's a fine Thursday, a wet one, cloudy one, definitely not sunny, but a fine Thursday nonetheless. And I hope things have worked out for you and your life's brighter than the weather is at the moment. Welcome once again. And from now till about 7 o'clock, we keep the conversation going. And considering how the weather is, if you're on the roads right now, you're a road user, do take extra precautions, obey traffic rules and regulations. Just because it's rained doesn't mean that traffic rules or regulations do no longer apply. They still very apply. In fact, they apply more now that the risks are higher on the roads. So whether you're a pedestrian, you're a passenger in a vehicle or a driver, to put some sense in it. All right? And to commercial drivers especially, while driving is not allowed. Let's use some sense. All right? If we want Buhari and Abuja to do the right thing, then on the roads we have to try to do the right things as well. Okay, so let's see. On the show today, several matters we're going to be discussing. A quick run through those issues. Side comments coming up in a moment. Random stories and random thoughts will not be discussed now once again. Then I've got a round coming up, be expressing a thought on some issue. And I'd like to get your take on mine till 4:30 today. Yep, I'm taking your thoughts on today's run till 4:30 because as happens, I think, once a month. Our friends from the Bridge Clinic will be joining me in the studio by 4:30 p.m. We'll be discussing fertility matters. Yep, remember the good Lord urged, for those of you who believe in that, the good Lord urged folks to go out into the world, multiply and fill the earth. A good way to do that is through, the natural means of conception. But sometimes there may be some complications with that. However, all is not lost, as there could be a way out of it. So, join us at 4:30 p.m. as our friends from the Bridge Clinic proffer ways to ensuring you also can have your Thanksgiving in church, carry your very own baby. Alright, so let's see. That takes us till 5. The news update comes up at 5 p.m. And after that, remember Algon in Rivers State quite recently expressing that's the Association of Local Government, blah blah, in Rivers State, expressing concerns regarding the continuous voters registration exercise in Rivers State. I had the Emohua Local Government Council Chairman, Dr. Chidilor, in the studio. I think that was yesterday or a couple of days ago, and he expressed Algon's position and how that they believe that. They believe that there is a plot to use their words, depopulate River State as far as the voters register is concerned. And nothing's going on as far as efforts to register new voters or, attend to challenges of existing voters. So we'll look at that as INEC will be clearing the air INEC clashed the on continuous voters registration exercise in Rivers State. I'll be speaking with the INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in Rivers State, Obo Efanga. He joins me for that conversation in the 5 o'clock hour after the news update. Headlines 5:30 p.m. We got the major news at 6 and open seasons up after that. If you miss out on contributing to any of these matters, including my side comments, I'll take your thoughts during that period till about 7 o'clock when we wrap up the show today. The sports gang will be in by 7 p.m. for extra time. Alright, so let's keep things going smoothly right now with today's side comments. Remember, not for discussion at this time, random stories and random thoughts that I came across as I checked out the news today. The CDC chairman of Rumosi community, Chineke Akani, says the community is not aware of a den in the community where people are changed and subjected to inhumane treatment. The den is in the guise of a church with the name Holy Christ Army Church Worldwide. And he spoke to our community, and he said the community had alerted the police. Now, let's hear what the CDC chairman, how to say about this situation, which of course, well, no surprisingly, they were not aware of.
We are not aware. Actually, the land is being bought by somebody. They rented the place and built a kind of a bacha in the land. First, the place is being fenced, put gates. So what the activities going on in there, nobody is aware of it. But from what we saw this morning, they put some people chain. When we ask questions, they say they are mad. So we try to interview those people they chain. The way we are speaking to, you know that they are mad people. But what the community is saying is that we are not in support of what they are doing there. Luckily enough, the government has visited the place yesterday, both Choba Division and other divisions. They did not arrest anybody. So what we are begging now as a community is that government should come and take those people to a psychiatric hospital.
Apparently, the CDC chairman of Rumosi, Chineke Akane, allegedly have appropriate or approved certificates in medicine, or at least the arm of medicine that tests a person's mental state, psychiatry, I suppose. That's how he knows that they are mad. And surprisingly, he said nobody was arrested even after the police were informed. I wonder why. Maybe the police, our friends, the police, didn't see an opportunity to help anybody, or to bail anybody. Because if there was a bailable situation involved, maybe the police would have taken it up and they would have been on top of the situation, But then again. Well, I do hope that the authorities do the right thing, because whether they are mad or not is not the issue. Obviously, I don't think anybody in that place has a license to treat people with psychiatric conditions or with mental conditions. So that shouldn't even exist in the first place. And if someone is doing that illegally, ignorance of the law is not even an excuse in the first place. So I wonder why the police have decided to not make any arrests, or at least in the usual, at least keep somebody and ask them to call the people to come and bail them. Have you guys forgotten how we do these things, for crying out loud? Right? At Choba, what's going on? Can't we? Anyway. Tell them that we're trying to help them, because if this matter reach headquarters now, it will be on that, it will turn to something else. Right? So let's just help the matter now. At least the IPO will have to help this matter. Because we're just trying to help. If this matter reach CP stable. CP does not like seeing things like this. So if CP hear this one now, to reach Abuja, And as well, I hope that the authorities in the Ministry of Health here in Rivers State will also attend to this matter. If those people that do need some medical attention, I hope that will be provided for them as well. And I hope CDC Chambo and his boys will pay more attention to think to what goes on in the communities, because there's a reason your city room will see they'll be shouting chamo chamo. It's in the community. Else, there's no need for them to be shouting chamo when you're walking past. Was there anything else? I think there was something else here. The PDP governors are to meet in Abuja this evening. The chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Aminu Tambuwal, in consultation with his colleagues, summoned an emergency meeting of the forum, and it will discuss the recent developments in the PDP. The governors enjoined all PDP members and stakeholders to exercise patience as efforts are being made to ensure continued stability of the party in the days ahead. I need to get someone to keep up to, I think I need to enter into a contract with someone or some organization to keep my supply of popcorn steady. I need a steady supply of popcorn because this drama appears to be a long-running season. You know, those really long-running seasons that never seem to end. I'm trying to remember an example of one right now. Kind of like the days of our lives from back in the day. Or equally, it seemed that they would never end. That's what this one looks like. Anyways, we'll keep watching the situation and see where it ends eventually. But if you ask me, I doubt very strongly that the meeting of the governors in Abuja today is going to resolve anything. As a matter of fact, I sense that it might even throw up more dust than has been thrown up already. But it's a family affair. It's a family affair, I suppose. President Buhari says Tuesday's attack on the Nigerian Defense Army will boost rather than dampen the morale of the armed forces to end criminality in the country. A statement by his media aide Femi Adesina said the attack came when the military had put insurgents, bandits, kidnappers, and other criminals on the retreat. Really? On the retreat? I thought they were kidnapping, children, school children, students, anyhow, in the north. How are they retreating exactly? Oh, I get it. They're retreating into the schools. Oh, it all makes sense now. Well, he also commiserated with the families of those who died during the incident. I commend the Nigerian armed forces. They're doing I believe they're doing the best that they can, considering the circumstances and situations that they find themselves in, and I wish them the very best. I'm not quite certain as to the president's statement, though, that this attack will boost their morale. I have my doubts about that. I really do. And at least 3 people were injured following a fire outbreak at the Bonima Wharf in Port Harcourt. The blaze caused panic in the area as online videos showed at least 20 petrol tankers attempting to move away from the scene at the same time. No official source has confirmed the actual cause of the fire, but our correspondents gathered that it started from an illegal crude oil refinery. The fact of the matter is, when we say that, we are taking our oil, we are being penny-wise, pounds foolish. And don't buy into the narrative that we are taking was our own. No, it's only a handful of people who are using some illogical sentiments to enrich themselves criminally to your detriment. So that's just it. You are taking was our own. We are taking was our own. Who is taking was our own? How many people are taking was our own? So, and at the end of the day, inevitably, it's going to lead to chaos, it's going to lead to disaster, it's going to lead to injuries, it's going to lead to death. And, of course, to top it all, we are destroying our own environment. We're sabotaging our own economy. We are killing ourselves. That's what we're doing. And those people who are shouting, we are taking what's our own, they're criminally enriching their own bank accounts to the detriment of every other person, which is the vast majority of every other person, which is 99.9999999% every other person. So I think I'll wrap up today's side comment on that note. Almost. I didn't forget. But 2 things I'd like to say next to wrap up the side comment. To Ignatius Adjuru University of Education and any other institution in Rivers State or around in adjoining states where you might be, or anywhere you might be listening to, or throughout the entire country, suspending for lecturers, randy lecturers who have been found guilty of indulging in sex for grades or money for grades, suspending those persons is not an option. I saw comments on social media of people praising, thanking, and eulogizing, certain person, the management of Ignatius Ajo University of Education for the wonderful strides that they have taken in suspending. There's nothing wonderful about it. As a matter of fact, for me, I am shell shocked that the penalty a tertiary institution would proffer for a lecturer who has sex with the students to grade them is to suspend him for some months, maybe put him on half salary or no salary, and that's it. I think it's an extremely unfortunate situation, and for me that smacks of collusion as far as the management of such institutions are concerned, including the Ignatius Ajo University of Education. It smacks of collusion. It smacks of I'm at a loss for words right now, really. Doesn't make any sense to me. When such persons are found that they should be sent out of the system, they don't even understand why they're there in the first place, and they've shown that they have no business being in such an environment. And I hope the tertiary institutions will take the appropriate steps going forward. And finally, it was his birthday yesterday. The police spokesperson, PRO of the River State Police Command here in River State, of course, DSP Inamdi Omoni. It was his birthday yesterday. Congratulations to the police spokesperson. I missed that one yesterday. Congratulations to him once again. I hope you had a great day yesterday, and it's good, always good to add another year, and I hope that this next chapter, this next phase of your life, SP, pardon me, I think it's his SP now. I think it's SP now. SP Inamdi Omoni. I wish you the very best, and I hope that this new chapter of your life offers you even greater things, greater accomplishments, and a better service to the Nigeria Police Force, and that will, of course, imply a better service to the Nigerian populace as well. And blessings to you and your family. I spend Inamdi Omoni. Once again, happy birthday. In arrears, of course. So that's it for today's side comment. I go on a break. When I return, today's rant comes up. Do please stay with us.
We give the facts.
News entirely.
We give the evidence. Just to keep you informed.
News, weather. I get my information top of the hour every hour.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
A clean surrounding is a collective effort.
Diseases could be avoided
with good hygiene practice. Be more responsible with how you dispose waste products. The environment will be better looking without litter and exposed garbage. We love our city clean. This message is from 92.3 Nigeria Info.
When knowledge meets action, information liberates. How informed do you need to be to thrive in a fast-changing world?
Listen to experts only.
Keep it dial locked on 92.3 Nigeria Info for the best of news, talk, and sports 24/7.
I am listening. Are you?
the facts.
News entirely.
We give the evidence. Just to keep you informed.
News, weather. I get my information top of the hour every hour.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
And now, hard facts.
Hard facts with Dion.
Welcome back. It is Hot Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info and Harry Podhaka Adedayo. And I'd like to rant for just a bit. I've got something in my mind. I've expressed some thoughts on it, and you're very welcome to express your thoughts and my thoughts all the way till 4:30 today. Yeah, usually it will be till 4 o'clock, but till 4:30 today. Whenever, for example, we have a friend from the British Clinic coming by, usually by 4:30 p.m. once a month or thereabouts, I take your thoughts and my thoughts on the run till 4:30, and that's what's going to be happening today. So let's get right into it. We've got plenty of time today. Well, a lot more time than usual. So I'll start today's rant with some Bible scripture. So if you will, bring up your Bibles. I'm sorry you may not have been informed, so you may not have brought your Bibles with you to where you are right now. So if you have it on your phones as well, you can just, it's easier these days, just slide with me, or you can open a browser. We're going to read from two passages of scripture today to kick off today's rant. First, Isaiah chapter 40 verse 3. Turn to Isaiah 40 verse 3. Just keep your finger there, or keep something there. Then turn to John chapter 1 verse 23 as well. John chapter 1 verse 23. But like I said, we're starting with the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 3. I like the King James version of the Bible. I do. It's my favorite version, really. So let's do the King James version. It goes, the voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Now, supposedly, what was written, what Isaiah was saying here, was prophetic. He was speaking of things that were to happen long after even he was gone. Hundreds and thousands of years afterwards. Because once again it goes, the voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Now, who was Isaiah speaking of, and of what incident was he speaking of precisely? We get the answer when we turn to the New Testament, which more or less is a fulfillment of the Old Testament. So join me in turning to John chapter 1 verse 23. Once again, the King James version being my preferred version. And that goes, he said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord, I said the prophet Esaias. Who was speaking here, the person who was speaking was John the Baptist. Do you know how I know it was John the Baptist? Maybe we need to read a little before this this part. So let's read. Let's see. So verse 22 said, so they said to him, who are you? We need an answer for those who sent us. What do you say about yourself? Now the question once again is, who were they speaking to precisely? Who were they speaking to? Once again, it was John the Baptist. He was the one they were speaking to. And it's understandable that John needed to tell them this. It's understandable that, I mean, you would ask yourself the question, why did they not know this? Why did the Pharisees, why did the Sadducees, why did the religious leaders, why did the Jews of that time, why did they not know what John the Baptist was speaking of? And in case you're wondering again, in case there's any confusion, as to who was speaking here. Let's read from verse 19, John chapter 1, verse 19. Just walk with me here. You'll get where I'm going eventually. Just stay with me. Stay with me. Now, from verse 19 it says, and this is the record of John, when the Jews, the record of John. You see, it was John here. And this is the record of John, where the Levites especially were people who were set apart by God himself to be the intermediary between the people and God. You would think that since they were the custodians of the scriptures, they were the custodians of the things of the Spirit or the things of God, that they would know. But alas, behold, they did not. Verse 20 once again from John chapter 1, and they confessed and denied not, but confessed, I am not the Christ. Verse 21, and they asked him, what then? Art thou Elias? And he saith, I am not. Art thou that prophet? And he answered, no. And verse 22, then said they unto him, who art thou? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What seest thou of thyself? That takes us to the important verse, verse 23. He said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord, as said the prophet Isaiah. Now, once again, one might excuse the Levites, one might excuse the priests, one might excuse the Jews for not identifying what was playing out before them, because the prophecy came long before all of them were even born. The prophecy was given long before they were born, a very, very long time before they were born. So that might explain why they did not know what was to happen, why they did not see what was to happen, why they could not comprehend what was right there in front of them. It might make some sense. Might make some sense. Now, whilst this might make some sense, what does not make any sense whatsoever is how that's something that happens every year. Every year, still we have to remind people and say, behold, the voice of people that cry from the meteorological agencies. Behold, the voice of people that cry in the various communities. Behold, the voice of people that cry at relevant weather agencies. Behold, the voice of those who cry from various media outlets, both broadcast media, print media. Behold, the voice of every rational, thinking, sensible human being. Behold and prepare for the flood that is and must to come. Happens every year. Not every 10 years, not every 50 years, not every 100 years, not every 500 years, not every millennia. No, happens every year. But even with this frequency, we still have to remind people that this year, once again, we are going to have floods. So, what will be the excuse? The Levites and the priests and the Jews may have the excuse that it was hundreds of years, maybe even thousands, before the prophecy as spoken by Isaiah was being fulfilled right before their very eyes. So they didn't know. But what will be the excuse of our honorables and our excellencies that an incident that happens every year, of which they receive warnings every year as well, they are unable to do anything to adequately prepare for it and mitigate its impact in the lives of the people? Are you with me right now? Are you with me? Are you with me? I'm taking you somewhere with this. You need to stay with me. You need to stay with me. Now, let's go over to the news. Let's go over to the news as published by 92.3 Nigeria Info. We're going a little way back now. We're going some time back. We're going to the month of still August this year, precisely August 20, 2021. This was published on a major bulletin from 92.3 Nigeria Info. And it goes, NEMA says local governments are not ready. NEMA says local governments are not ready to tackle the impending flood that will hit Rivers State. Now, this follows the 2021 annual flood outlook, which says 8 local government areas would experience heavy flooding. The said local government areas are Ahoda East and West, Ogba, Egbema, Ndoni, Andoni, Abuao Duan, Port Harcourt City, Gokana, and Okrika. Now, speaking of this, South Zonal Coordinator of NEMA, Godwin Teprico, advised local government areas to begin to identify high grounds and create temporary shelters to mitigate the impact of the flood. Let's hear what this NEMA individual had to say about the responsibilities of governments, basically, especially what is impending, what is inevitable once again.
Cause displacement. The local government is also expected to put in measures to begin to pre-position their relief materials. Because when this flooding comes and causes displacement, it will also affect livelihood.
Absolutely. Now, once again, remember the very first sentence in this news item. It goes, NEMA says local governments are not ready to tackle the impending flood that will hit River State. That's the most critical part of that news item. They are simply not ready. No, they're not. Now, back to the rest of the story. Mr. Teprico also called on the state government to put an effective waste management system in place and advise residents not to block drainages and waterways with their waste.
Citizens should also be discouraged from using the drainages and the waterways as a receptacle for refuse disposal. That is to say that effective waste management should be encouraged. You have a requirement in the state. There should be up and doing to ensure that whatever garbage that comes from homes don't return to the waterway, to the drainage channel, so that it does not exacerbate flooding.
Now, I doubt very strongly that this NEMA official, the South Zonal Coordinator of NEMA, Godwin Teprico, I doubt that is an honorable and excellency. I doubt. I'm not aware that he's held any public office. You know, I doubt he goes about in a bulletproof SUV with his own personal attachment of mobile security. I doubt he has that. I doubt that he has I doubt he has security votes. But even without all of these appendages and paraphernalia of honorable and excelential office, he knows what should be done and what can be done by local government and by state government. Yes, even by citizens as well. Citizens should not block drainages with their waste. But the fact is, inevitably, waste is generated. Inevitably, waste will go someplace. Those two things must happen. As long as human beings are on earth, waste must be generated, and inevitably, the waste will go someplace. And the question is, why do we have major points, highways, the medians on highways and roads being littered with disgusting scenes of waste? Why do we have that? The answer is very simple. It's not a political answer. The answer is not sponsored by Hezbollah or ISIS. It's a very elementary one, because we do not have an effective or efficient waste management system in River State. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Not complex at all. And remember the first statement in this news item. NEMA says local governments are not ready to tackle the impending flood that will hit River State, even though it happens every year, even though they receive warnings every year. But thank goodness, it's not entirely doom and gloom. Some people, know what to do. There may not be many, but they know what to do. There might be few, but they know what to do. Even in the midst of chaos, you still have some person to know what to do. An example in the Bible was Joseph of Arimathea. Remember him? Joseph of Arimathea, the man who assumed responsibility for the burial of Jesus after his crucifixion. Not many people at that time would dare to stand up to identify with Jesus. Not many people would do that. Not many persons would identify with Jesus, even though he was dead at that time. He was like a virus. You dare not publicly associate with him, even after he was dead. But Joseph of Arimathea, in the midst of the confusion and the chaos, and everybody was struggling to distance themselves from Jesus. Remember, even though Jesus was still alive, Peter, one of the 12, as prophesied by Jesus himself, denied him 3 times before the cock crew. But Joseph of Arimathea, understanding what was going on, maybe he read a lot of Isaiah, I don't know, but he understood what was playing out, and he identified with Jesus. He got the body of Jesus, and he buried Jesus. So even in the midst of chaos and confusion, some people, a handful, still identify what needs to be done, and they do it. And we have an example living in our times right now. Now, this was on the news earlier today, following the predicted heavy flooding in 8 local government areas in Rivers State, the Parliament head of Ukpata Kingdom in Ekpeye land, Eze Felix Tuwarikbo, says the traditional council has arranged 2 camps for flood victims. Let's hear what His Royal Highness had to say about this situation and efforts that the traditional council is making to address this matter.
We have suffered greatly over these past few years. We don't understand why our people are treated differently. As a matter of fact, we have notified some schools to evacuate their students in some parts of their buildings to enable us prepare those places for those that will be affected by the flooding. We have 2 camps, one at Ahoda, one at Akenema, but they are not large enough to accommodate all the victims of the flood disaster.
It's okay, Your Royal Highness. At least you're making some effort, and well, maybe some of us do understand why the people are being treated that way. Honorables and Excellencies simply do not care. It's as simple as that. They are like the Pontius of our times. They wash their hands of everything and blame it on the opposition. That's what they are. They are like Pontius Pilate. They prefer bring me basin with soap. They will wash their hands off it and blame it on the opposition. Now, Eze King Felix Otuwarekbon, who is also the regent of Ekpeye Kingdom, however, appealed to the construction company handling the East-West Road to open up the channels in the area to reduce the impact of the flooding.
This construction of the East-West Road has blocked the water channels. If those water channels are opened up, of course there will be movement of water from the Orashi River straight to the Sombrero River. But those water channels that normally take water coming from Orashi to Sombrero have been blocked. And so it's difficult for water to pass through. And this water pull back. And this is what is causing this level of damage to our communities. If that is addressed, we will not be having this kind of impact our people are facing.
Your Royal Highness, thanks for the effort that you're making. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. May not seem like it's enough, but at least it's something. It's more than Honorables and Excellencies have done, or ever done possibly, or maybe even will do at this time. But let's not be too sad. Let's not be too dejected, because the Honorables or the Excellencies, they will do something. They always do something, and this is what they are going to do. The rains will come, the floods will come. People are going to be displaced. Agricultural produce or lands are going to be destroyed. People might even die as well. And then after all of this has happened, Honorable will go to this same kingdom. He will go to this same kingdom with press people. Some of our reporters say might go with him as well. And they will go there, and he will stand and he will shake his head and then bite one finger and start to say choi, choi, as he's shaking his head from left to right. Choi, choi. Then he will fold his hand and do smelling what I don't know he's smelling. Choi, choi. Hey, see what our people are going through. See, and then he will point into the distance at nothing in particular, pointing aimlessly and chewing his finger again while he intermittently says choi, choi, shaking his head as well. And after the show of choi and finger biting, he addresses the press and talks about His Excellency, His Excellency. See, His Excellency has done everything. His Excellency, in fact, yesterday, I have it on good authority. His Excellency was talking to God. He was asking God why God were allowed. His Excellency was interfacing with God and the host of heaven and discussing with them what needs to be done to ensure that we can salvage the people and save them from this incessant floodings. His Excellency, I'm sure, in fact, he has earmarked, he has disbursed, he has released money, and everything is in fact, it's just, we have to thank His Excellency for this great in fact, His Excellency cannot sleep because of what's going on. As I am right now, we are giving him like 2 bags of Valium every day so that His Excellency can at least have 30 minutes of sleep because of how he's feeling for what the people are going through. So we want to assure the people that in due time we'll take the necessary steps to mitigate the impact of this flood. You can see we have brought mattresses here. You can see noodles. You can see that's what administration is all about. You can see. Thank you very much. It's very sad indeed. And I close once again with the book of Isaiah chapter 40 verse 3. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. As is with the voice of people who are shouting year in, year out. And the voice of His Highness Himself, the paramount head of Okpata Kingdom in the Kweye land, Eze Felix Otuwarikbo, who is shouting and screaming, help my people, the floods will ravage and will kill them, help my people. I took plenty of time today, I apologize for that, but I end the rant on that note. I hope I didn't bore you. Any thoughts on my, let's hear it. Numbers are the same, lines are open. We got till 4:30 today, so but call in 0817 923 0002 or 0003 0817 923 0007. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info page, also on YouTube. We've got the news coming up shortly at 4 p.m., but the discussions definitely will continue after that. I think I can take one call before the news, at least one call before the news. Dial, please, as you're shouting the joy, you forgot to stand akimbo. That's Annie. But that's very important. You will stand akimbo as well. I've got Charles from Debo on the line. Hello, Charles. Welcome. Go on.
Okay, this day. If you remember some time ago, 2019 precisely, there was a disaster, maybe not flooding this time around, at the food garden market, where they became beneficiaries of this Excellency's benevolence. I think what we do here is politicizing everything, and I pray that we grow out of it. Let the citizens ourselves not wait for government to. I know it's government's responsibility, yes, although, but we should try to help ourselves and make our life better for ourselves in the context that in this time of flooding, I would advise everybody that lives in lowland to look for high-rise places and at least make an abode before the flooding comes.
How will everybody make an abode in highland? How can everybody make? You said make an abode on highlands or high rise.
I think I've just done something now. So if other CDC chairmen, like you talk about the women in the CDC chairman now, if other CDC chairmen, if other chiefs, if other stakeholders, not waiting for government, do a little bit of what he has done, it will help to mitigate the crisis at the end of the day. That's what I'm just trying to say.
Okay, all right.
Charles,
good to hear from you. Do I have a commercial break? Okay, I think I do have. Okay, I do have a commercial break. Okay. All right, so I'll go for the commercial break now. We got business news to put out at 4 p.m. I'll return afterwards, and we'll keep taking your thoughts on today's run till 4:30 p.m. Do please stay tuned. We'll be right back in a bit.
Set your time on Nigeria Info. It's 4 o'clock.
And now the business news.
Hello, welcome. Thousands of spare parts dealers in Port Harcourt displaced by the construction of a flyover around the Once Ikoku spare parts market say they've remained stranded since then. The new chairman of the spare parts dealers, Godwin Chibuka, tells our correspondent Martha Okere that the state government has provided no alternative months after they were evacuated.
There's a new development at Ikoku where the government cited the flyover bridge and it's ongoing, and it has affected us in a very bad way because our shops are being demolished. While that was going on, the hoodlums also came and stole a lot of our goods. There was no preparation from the government of where we can be relocated.
And some of the affected spare parts dealers spoke to our correspondent.
We do every legitimate business that promotes states. So all we need is where we can be relocated and as well still give that sense of belonging.
Despite that, we may say that we come from different states, but we are one in the sense that a place you have stayed for about 15-20 years, you are part of that place.
I have never seen where they are doing a motor passed in the street. Some people will pay for up. Tomorrow, government will mark it. They will locate us another place. Government will mark it. Our people are frustrated.
He should come to our aid. Let him not just demolish the place we are and leave us like that.
But it is now, even the customers, the car users in Port Harcourt, if you tell them to go to Ikoku and buy parts now, of course they will not recognize Ikoku again. Everywhere has been devastated.
It has not really been easy with every one of us.
And all tankers fell along Afara Mba Road in the Che local government area of River State, spilling contents this morning. The incident raised fears of a fire outbreak as scores of people gathered with containers scooping the spilled content. An eyewitness, Ihai in Wokiwa, told correspondent Chema Ezenwafo that the tankers fell due to the bad state of the road and called on government to fix the bad section of the Afara Mba Road in the Che to avoid such accidents.
2 trailers that carry good oil have said that they have blocked up the road because of bad roads going to Mba, going to Kenya. That place now is a terrible situation. If you go there, it's just like oil market. Let government help us. We are dying in a chain, local government. It's not like police, everybody ran away. And it's not like a security, nothing. Our women can never longer to go to farm because of bad roads and everything. All the hotels that in this Nigeria, is that way they follow to Lagos, Abuja, every place.
And the fallen tankers were later moved, but the residents continued scooping the spilled content, which can be seen littered on the flooded plant section of the Afara Mba Road in Eche. Meanwhile, there are reports of heavy traffic along the LME refinery road caused by 3 trailers which fell on the bad section of that road yesterday. The fallen trucks are yet to be removed as at the time of this report. And oil prices were like crude goes for $67.80 a barrel and Brent $71.82 a barrel. And finally, official exchange rates, a dollar goes for 410 naira 19 kobo, 1 euro is equivalent to 481 naira 52 kobo, and a pound exchanges for 562 naira 99 kobo. And that's the business news. Contact our newsroom on 0818 90017. For more stories, visit www.nigeriainfo.fm. Thanks for listening. I'm Adedayo Elusakin. Good evening.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you, only on Nigeria Info.
Are you running
running late and can't make it down to our Rumorsi office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817-001-8162. That's 0817-001-8162.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you only on Nigeria Info.
And now, Hard Facts.
Hard Facts with Dio.
Welcome back. Still Hard Fact 90.3 Nigeria Info and here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 6 minutes gone past 4 p.m. I did deliver a rant earlier on the floods predicted to come, to happen in River State, in some parts of River State, in some local government areas, and the unpreparedness, the perpetual, persistent, incredible, unbelievable unpreparedness of the various local governments, or even the state government for that matter, to deal with the situation, or to adequately prepare to mitigate the impact on the lives of the people. So your take right now, lines are open, 0817 93 0002 or 0003, call 0817 93 0007. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH, also on youtube.com, to search for Nigeria Info PH, or just YouTube. WhatsApp is on 0809 030 6416. Let's see. Well, I guess I may have to start with WhatsApp. I will continue to commend His Royal Majesty Felix Otuwarekpo, the regent of Ekpe ethnic nation, for his fatherly role in making sure that his subjects in Ekpe, in Ahoda, East and West are relocated to a safe zone. I urge all the political leaders and the LGAs to support the royal father. Emeka Monday from Ahoda sent that. Hi, Pastor Dio, right on. How would they hear when they have ears but cannot hear? This is a nefarious anthem of politicians. They are too egocentric, and this is really, really bad. Who did this to us, Dio? Please tell me who did this to us so I can beg the person as blessing from Port Harcourt. I'll go to Emmanuel on the line from Rumolumini. Emmanuel, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, go on.
Well, I want to thank you first for all that you've been doing for us here. Actually, just like what the Bible says also in Revelation, that many have ears, they don't hear. I think the cry has been there for a number of months now concerning the flood and everything. The problem we have in leadership is that we don't have public servants in the heads of affairs. We have people that are political leaders who think that the public remains subject to them as political parties, that every citizen of the country belongs to one more especially, I think, opposition. Once you are not in any political party, when you talk, you are in opposition. And that makes development very, very hard to be implemented in the society today. So I think I will plead with them to see themselves as number one public servants, not leaders. That is just the problem, separating political leader and public servants. And when you see them, you see a councillor, you're talking as though you elected yourself, chairman, the same thing, governor, the same thing, presidency, the same thing. So for the people to get the dividends of democracy, you can't get it because they are looking at you as a political party person. So what do you have? If you're not into their system, there's nothing for the community. So the people can die. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. So how did we get here? How are we going out from here? That's just the major problem. I know that one day we'll come out. I said it earlier.
Emmanuel, great to hear from you, but I must move on right now. Thanks for your contribution, sir. Daniel from Agri-Radio, welcome. Please go on.
Yeah, Dayo. Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Our leaders, we voted to take care of us. We found out that they are just nothing but businessmen who came into power just to fill their pockets and their bags. They don't care for the citizen. They they knew before they came into power, these things exist. And we voted them thinking that they are coming to help us. But rather than to help us, they will only see the situation escalate and then come there, begin to shout, They will praise the governor who is not doing anything, say he's doing something. They will praise themselves that they are trying to do something. There is nothing they are doing. But when they want to blame, they blame the federal government. Now it's a dilemma. I say, the local government who are supposed to do something are not ready to do anything. Because when the time comes, they will blame the federal government and then campaign against the federal government. That is the kind of politics we do there. Even the people who are suffering, instead of them to tell the people the truth that you are the one who's supposed to do it, they will be calling on federal government Buhari. It's because of everything. And that is the problem we are facing.
Absolutely.
Talk to the problem, and who is supposed to be responsible to the problem, talk to him directly. Don't be afraid of him. Don't go far from the person that is far. Look, we are suffering. And then instead of us to blame the people we are supposed to blame, we are blaming somebody we are not supposed to blame. And that is why we continue to suffer. That's my statement. Good to hear from Dano. Via Facebook, a Dogba Goldstein goes, sincerely, I don't know what is wrong with our political leaders. Look at how guys crying and shouting daily about these floods. It's disappeared. All right, Emeka Agba goes, don't you know you can preach well, but the opposition will lure you to preach the way you did. All right. Okay, and that's about it, I suppose. Of course, Emmanuel from Now 3. Emmanuel, you're welcome. Go on.
Good evening.
Hello, go on.
For the past 3-4 years, they are having floods every year. Every year, River State flood. The government cannot build a center for a flood victim for the past 3-4 years. So I don't know who has wished us in this River State. That a recurrent decimal in a state, every year, flood comes. And no matter the one River State, there will be flood this year. River State government, local government, are not doing anything to about this thing. Where will go where the flood comes? But I want to thank the chief, the Royal Highness himself, that to look for people. But my promise is to remove students from the classrooms. So that it's marketing governor's program. So please use as our pastor, Governor Wike and Commissioner and Colonial Chairman. These are primary duties to make sure that people are safe. They are only planning for 23. How they want Abuja to plan for 23? They are told that putting them for and not the kind of Dayo. I don't know what which River State. Thank you, my fine brother.
Welcome. Kinsley is gone. Come back if you can. Via what do I stand from this time? I go to Facebook. Okay, let's do Facebook. Coburn de Gotton goes, the residents in those 8 LGAs that would be affected, and it should start preparing or relocating to other nearby LGAs, as the stitching time says 9, life and property. Onishi Ejiofor goes, the local and state government will not be ready to tackle the flood until the damage by the flood is done. Then our honourables and excellencies will be there to shout choi choi, like Daya used to say. Okay, via WhatsApp now. Melody from Uniport goes, Daya, your paradoxical use of anti-climax in today's rant just put me off my feet. Perhaps this Bible imagery might touch their heart, since River State is a Christian state. You know, who knows? You know, God walks in mysterious ways. At least that's what it said. Radhan Daya, Pastor Daya, please prophesy to the earth, because I don't think the priests of old, which are the government now, knows or can comprehend natural disasters, of which flood is one of them. They won't disturb themselves because it's not campaign period. It's really one. Victoria from Rumelu. I've got Ibiso from Orderly.
For the masses, cerebral vision. Now, Dayo, you are in university for the past year. Man, when they share this palliative and all the rest, they give this young, and the guy sell everything in a madam a year. Selling food, selling rice from Aoda. And now, you know what they're doing? They will wait. When maybe the government want to go there, they go with high power delegation. And speak all manner of things that don't worry, we'll take care of it, and they will leave.
High powered, not just a regular delegation, a high powered one. Okay.
And they will say that they will solve that, they will leave. Now, this again is coming now. A paramount in that area is assisting the people. The local government chairman, what is their primary assignment? They will blame federal government, NEMA, this person. But these people are your own people, the same tribe. What are you doing to help these people before this thing, the flood will come? So women are crying, different things. They will now appoint committee. essay on flood, situation on floods. They will appoint different bodies and take this money, share to their people. And these same old men will suffer, they will lose their crops, lose everything, and go back to square one again. Tomorrow again, they will time the local government share their disappointment to the people. If not, they will handle this matter before the governor even say what is happening. What are they doing with their security? What are they doing with money allocation? People are suffering there, and they will come and tell us that they are doing something. When you talk, they say, hey, you hate the governor. This is politically motivated. Somebody saying to but people are suffering. Thank God that if it is political something, the both parties are there, and the both people are suffering. And some of these chairmen, their uncle or their aunties in one way are suffering this thing. They will come with big heat. But just take a look. When they want to go there, just look at pictures. They will come with big heat, different this thing, and say that, oh, I'm disappointed in our rivers. Thank you, Dayo.
You're welcome. 17 going past 4. Any more thoughts on this? Let's talk about this for a bit. I've done a lot of talking about it, even today as well. I just want to hear your take on it via WhatsApp. But the problem with our government as it relates to flooding, as predicted by NEMA, is that they won't take the prediction serious till they see it happen, as a disaster will make them vote millions of naira to buy noodles and distribute to the affected persons as palliatives. Thank God for Chief Philip Otuwarikpo for showing our government leadership. Woyike Odinaka said that. Quite sad that the local government areas will pretend that they don't know about this yearly floods, but will be chasing INEC from pillar to post. That's Maxwell from Port Harcourt. Good afternoon, Dad. If this sermon of yours cannot change people, then I'm afraid. However, you see, the Honourable must wait for flood to come first, so that they will be in the media space and tell people about their developmental strides, which is first of its kind in this part of the world. Ubong from Woji said that. Oh my goodness. Developmental strides. Alright, Martins from Agri. Hello, Martins, go ahead.
Good evening.
Hi, go on.
You know, the state of the nation is like Ambo doesn't understand. They are calling the government chairman to do what? When the local government structure is being hijacked by the state government, what would the local government do in terms of flood? Is it not the state government that is the ecological fund? The department proposed the ecological fund in their budget. What are they using the ecological fund for? You are calling the government chairman. What will they do when the structure is being hijacked by the state government? The people, you know, the issue is that.
No, the thing is that there are stages. The first, hello, Martin, if you can hear me, the first responders have to be the local government. If it gets to a point that they can't handle it, then state government comes in. If state government can handle it, they can then reach out to the federal government as well.
Yeah, under the matter of you are right, but what I'm saying, the government structure in recent time has been hijacked by the state government. So they to blame the government to come to that state when immediate state of flooding. They don't have funds. They don't have the funds. That is the money for them.
What funds does His Royal Highness have? Who is making the effort that he's making? What funds does he have?
I'm not talking about His Royal Highness.
No, I'm using him as an example. I'm saying he's done something. Why can't if the Royal Highness can do something with whatever little is or much is available? Why can't the local governments do something?
As the state government, what they are doing.
You have a point, Martins. The state government should do something, no doubt.
When they allow the government autonomy, then the government can function very well. Thank you.
And so, what autonomy does His Majesty Eze King Felix Otuwarikpo? What autonomy does he have? You know, does he have local traditional council autonomy? Is that why he's able to do what he's done? You know. Do I have any more comments via Facebook? I believe I do, but for some funny reason I'm not able to access all of them at this time. It's pretty funny, actually, if you think about it. Oh no, it's not much. I can still take a few calls, I suppose. Maybe under 5 minutes, I think. Got a commercial break coming up in a bit. Before then, let's talk some more about this development, this yearly occurrence, and how the situation plays out just about the same way every year. I've got Isaac on the line. Hello, Isaac. Please go on.
Good evening, Dayo.
Yeah.
Let me start by thanking you for the approach you adopted in passing the message across. I think you will make a very good teacher. Beyond the compliments, Dayo, I'm actually worried that all the messages we have been trying to pass across in 92.3, only very few people respond to that. On this issue of flood, it's like a case of a man whose wife is pregnant. The man cannot claim not to know that 9 months is a reasonable period for him to prepare for the birth of a child. Yeah, I agree that local government is supposed to do something. I think the real thesis in your work is what individual effort are we making first before we approach the authority. Now, as individual, overtly or covertly, we contribute to what happens in our environment. Well, for the much I know in River State, initially we were told that it was a dam that was opened in Cameroon. But we cannot keep opening Cameroon Dam for 4 years, which suggests that that particular storyline didn't carry today. The summary of what I'm saying here is this. Both government, state or local government, or even the federal government, an individual, they've all reneged in their responsibility to their environment. The environment we live in is suffering. We are supposed to actually make the environment a lively place. But what we do to the environment...
Isaac, I get your point, and it's a very important point you raise. I mean, there are environmental concerns there which we have to deal with, but there are also certain natural developments that are really devoid of environmental, these environmental concerns, because one way or another, because of the geography, the topology, and several other geographical lingua franca and definitions and terms, it's inevitable that we will have floods in certain places on Earth, not just in River State or parts of Nigeria, even in some of the most advanced societies of the world, where management of waste is not an issue. They still have floods because of the geography, the topography, and all of that. So what the crux is, we know it's going to happen. Issue of environmental waste management, very important. We must take it serious. But then again, there are some parts in River State in Nigeria that are inevitably prone to floods.
Yes, I agree. Those are areas with a lower topography. So that also suggests that when we want to build, we should build in places where, as individuals, where we can also feel protected. Like if you go
come on. So you can't say everybody in Ndoni, for example, should leave Ndoni because every year the floods will come and Ndoni is by river Niger. So everybody in Ndoni should leave Ndoni.
No, it's a rare case, very rare case.
What is a rare case?
But all the same, what I'm saying here is that, much as I agree with you, I think our opinion leader, not necessarily politicians, should start by educating themselves, because the first law is self-defense. Thank you.
All right. Andy, sorry, I can't take a call right now. I have to go. Sorry about that, but I must go for a commercial break shortly. Yes, we must care for the environment. We must manage waste properly. And I mentioned that earlier as well, because even that is fundamentally a responsibility of government as well. Yes, we keep saying people should bag their waste properly. Where are they taking the waste to? Right now, you have a situation where we must see here in environs, people drop the waste on the median East-West Road, and then you have the refuse trucks come to pick them up in the evening. Effective and efficient system to collect and manage the waste, Anyways, Honorable Excellencies,